So obviously, really tough loss tonight. You know, we had a 1-point lead when they're going in the last 5 minutes, ended up giving up a wide open three on an out of bounds play that we didn't switch out on. And then they called the timeout, and then I thought that they've started face guarding Iverson the rest of the game, and that's not taking him out of the game completely, which was a good move. Little Ziegler, who had 5 steals. I heard, the question about all the steals. I mean, they just overplayed the passing lanes, really get into the ball well. I thought that Ziegler and Chandler were really good defensively tonight, just, creating a lot of havoc with their hands and their feet. And we started out the game, they shot 8 for 9 the first, 7 minutes of the game, and then from that point forward, they were only 6 for 25 the rest of the half. I thought we played really hard and got ourselves back in the game, and had a chance. We just could never build on any of the leads that we started to get to start the second half. They shot 60% the second half. You're just not going to beat good teams, allow them to shoot that high percentage shot. I thought that, when you look at their team, James is really coming on for them right now, and again, he was a huge factor tonight when you look at the overall stat sheet with what he did. And, Chandler got to the layups. They had a couple plays late in the first half where they were 30 was like the guy he was going to screen, and then he would just, we call it a blur, get out of the way, but it makes the defender on the ball kind of hesitate for a second. He just got to the rim twice when we should have been helping on that with the guy whose man was blur screening. So they had, a lot of, good little actions for those guards to get to the rim, and they outscored us in the paint 30-22, which was a big difference, and 20-14 off of the turnovers. Questions?
Andy Bat lead off.
Hey Ben, when you look at the free throw numbers, you got to the line I think like 23 times, only made 61% of those. Is that going to stand out to you as maybe not the difference, but a difference?
It would have been, because instead of being up 1 with 5 minutes to go, if you make 75-80% of them, you're up 4 or up 5. So beating good teams, really good teams like Tennessee is, we needed to be 19 for 23, not 15 for 23 or 14 for 23. Excuse me.
And when you look at, I know Garrison kind of talked about late in games just not executing right now. What do you think kind of the disconnect is when you guys are playing well during the middle and then late in games it just like things kind of derail?
Well, I thought what they did with Iverson really threw us off, and credit them, because he got worn down. I had to play him too many minutes. We were struggling with. We had 6 points off the bench tonight. We've got to get more out of our bench than 6 points to be able to win. And so I was playing him more than I wanted to, and I planned on him playing 32 or 33 tonight. And those extra 4 minutes, is, it's tough.
Paul Jones, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned their guards. Obviously, in the first half, Chandler was able to get into the lane a good bit, and that kind of slowed down some of the second half. What adjustments did you try to make at halftime against him?
We tried. Our bigs that were guarding the screeners weren't getting out and extending the screens enough, and so they were curling a lot, and so we tried to do a better job of that. And he's a heck of a player. He's really improved as this season has progressed too. He's become a much better player. From where they started to where he is now. He's really impressive. McDonald's All-American, makes sense.
Steph, go ahead for a couple.
Ben, you mentioned, the face guarding that they did with Iverson there. Was there anything different that they did as opposed to, teams you've seen in the past do that? And I guess what kind of maybe threw you guys off a bit tonight?
Late in the game there, yeah, it did. And we just got to get the ball into Shaq's hands and play Iverson off the ball. That's the bottom line. I thought, DJ, we had too many turnovers. I mean, you're talking about what sticks out the most. I think Andy pointed out the free throw shooting. But to me, the biggest thing is 16 turnovers. We had, way too many turnovers. They had a +6 in that category right there. And, the foul shooting, those are the two things that really stand out.
And Garrison had kind of mentioned, the tight games that you guys have had, and just he said an inability to finish and how important that is, going forward the rest of the season. How hard is it, I guess, to find that next step, I guess, when you're in the middle of the season with only, 8 or 9 games left?
Yeah, we just got to do it. I mean, I thought Garrison said it best. We got to be tougher, and we've got to be able to finish. That's what good teams do, and that's what we've got to learn to do here as we, move forward with a tough road game at LSU.
Theo, go ahead and wrap us up.
With Shaq and Rocket both kind of struggling, I know you're playing DJ again at the 2. Do you have any other solutions for that 2-guard position, or is DJ kind of going to be playing more of those minutes going forward?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that we'll get more minutes for Rocket. He got in foul trouble in the first half for 2 fouls, so I didn't put him back in to pick up his 3rd. And then, they went zone, and he struggled to make a couple shots, and so I just elected to not go back to him in that situation. And talking about Shaq, I thought Shaq, we ran a play for him out of the timeout. He hit a big 3, and I thought he started to loosen up. I think he's just got to, relax out there and not put so much pressure on himself.
Kind of take us through that last 3 minutes and what went wrong for you guys.
Yeah, just execution down the stretch. Us as a team didn't execute. That's pretty much all it comes down to. A couple turnovers. That's pretty much it. But we did do what we need to do down the stretch.
Andy, go ahead.
Hey, Garrison, was there any similarities down the stretch with the way you guys played against Arkansas to tonight? I think down the stretch, I think in both, it kind of, things crocked up.
Yeah, just didn't make the big plays we need to. I think that's as simple as I can put it. We have to find a way to be tougher and make plays down the stretch. I mean, that's the difference in us winning. That's the difference in us winning games like Florida, Kentucky, tonight, Arkansas. Like that's just huge for us. We as a collective have to find a way to finish games.
How difficult is it to find that when the season's kind of getting into crunch time, I guess, and you're trying to find on the fly in big games?
Yeah, I mean everybody's trying to find it. I mean we just have to do it at the end of the day.
Jeff, go ahead for a couple.
Obviously, you guys knew how important this game was, coming into tonight. I mean, what's the mood like in the locker room, and what do you guys, got to tell yourself, knowing that you got the game left?
It's tough. I mean, it was a great chance for us. Great chance for us. It's a resume building game, especially at home. It's you gotta have them. You have to have them. You have to have games like this where you come down, finish the game, and get a tough win. I think that's something that we haven't done, but we're gonna figure it out. We will figure it out.
Obviously, you guys have struggled on the road this season, right back on the road after this one. I mean, what's the tone got to be like in practice, kind of get over that hump on the road?
Finish. That should be our motto for the next week. Finish. Finish games, finish practice, finish drills, finish layups, finish free throws, we have to finish more. Like, we have to finish better as a team, as a collective.
Theo, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Garrison, you came here to make the NCAA tournament. What do you think this team has to do down the stretch besides just winning games? Like, what kind of things do you guys have to do down the stretch to make it?
Other than win games?
Yeah, or is it as simple as that? Like, what kind of games? What kind of wins do you need down the stretch when you look at the schedule ahead?
Just wins. I don't. That's
I misspoke.
That's a tough question, but just wins. I mean, that's not. There's no like crazy science behind it. We just have to buckle down, make big plays, but just win.
How confident are you that can happen down the stretch?
Very confident. You see, every close game we're in, we're very capable of doing it. We just have to find a way to win. That's what tough teams do. That's what really good teams do.
Andy, one more to wrap it up.
Hey, Garrison, Tennessee, I think, had 13 steals tonight. Just what do they do on defense that kind of makes things so difficult when teams go against them?
Yeah, they're really tough. They do a great job on blowing stuff up, making it tough for you to get catches. I think they're just a great collective team on defense. I mean, I think we know that. I think everybody in the SEC knows that.